It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this present function organized this evening to recognize excellence in packaging in diverse components and industries. One of the hallmarks of a good society is to encourage, sustain and promote excellence in all fields of endeavor at all levels at all times, to help do things differently with a singular focus on reducing the wastage of scarce natural resources and to promote ecological equilibrium as would foster harmonious living amongst the various species in this planet Earth. Quality is the key and defining element of all human endeavors in the 21st century in the context of changing social realities. We are what we do repeatedly. Excellence then is an habit and not an act, said Aristotle. Quality is essentially attitude-centric. There is a school of thought that quality is resource-specific. This is not completely true. Research and findings over the years have established that the attitude of the mind plays a crucial and a critical role in high-quality research and innovation. Education, my dear friends, is a social process. Academic institutions have a responsibility not only to adopt the best practices in educational delivery systems, but also to disseminate them across the spectrum to all other institutions for wider application of these best practices. One of the key objectives of a responsible society is to identify islands of excellence, isolate them from the vast ocean of humanity, bring them to fore and showcase their achievements so that the rest of the citizenry can be encouraged, enthused to follow suit. Over the 90 years of its existence, the South Indian Education Society has singularly committed itself to this avowed objective. More than a quarter of a century ago, the Society instituted the SIES and the Sheikh Saraswati National Eminence Award in 4 distinct fields of human endeavor, namely public leadership, community leadership, science and technology, and spiritual leadership with primacy in philosophy and culture. This year we are celebrating the Silver Jubilee of the awards function. Over these years, 100 men and women of letters of outstanding achievements and exceptional merit have been decorated and blessed with this award. These include former presidents of India, former prime ministers of India, cabinet ministers, chief ministers, Bharat Ratnas, and a large pool of Padma Vibhushans of the country, and others whose deeds and actions have a social imprint beyond the canvas of this country. It also includes foreigners who have espoused the cause of Indian religion beyond the borders of this country in the place of their origin. These awardees have stamped infinity on the thought and process of this nation and added to the reservoir of goodness of this blessed land of ours. This journey of celebrating excellence continues. The SIES SOP Star Awards is a manifestation and an extension of this same intent and objective. Started in the year 2017 and now into its 5th edition, it has attracted several packaging industries, both large scale, medium scale and small scale, to participate in the awards competition, showcase their innovation, their specialities, particularly in relation to the choice of the materials, the ease of use of the material itself, the ease of the final product for the consumer, the aesthetics, the design, and more importantly, significant cost savings that accrue to the consumer in the process of the design changes that have been brought about by the award. Even though the award is in its infancy, it has already got global recognition insofar as the winners of the SIES SOP Star Awards automatically qualify for the International Star Awards of the World Packaging Organization. The SIES School of Packaging Technology Center was started exactly 2 decades ago in the year 2002 to bridge the gap between education and research in the field of packaging. It adopted the same motto as the World Packaging Organization, better quality of life through better packaging. All the academic programs offered by the School of Packaging have also, both at the graduate level and at the postgraduate level, are recognized by the World Packaging Organization with the result. The employability post-qualification is not just India-centric, but it also has global opportunities for the students. The School of Packaging is also a scientific research organization approved by the Department of Scientific and Industrial Research of the Government of India. It is one of the very few academic institutions in the country, very few as I mark it again, to enjoy 200% tax exemption for contribution for research under Section 35(1)(2) of the Income Tax Act 1961. The School of Packaging has been the voice of the packaging industry. It has been acting as the secretariat of several trade associations like the packaging machinery manufacturers, the bulk intermediate containers, the label manufacturers, and the tin plate manufacturers, and many more. Over the years, it has forged a durable, a sustaining and long-standing relationship with the industry. It's a shining example of academia-industry partnership. The years 2020 and 2021 have been great upheavals in the human society. They have also considerably affected the health of the humans across the globe without exception. The corona pandemic has altered the way we think, the way we socialize, the way we connect, and even the way we consume. This small virus, less than 1/10 the size of a bacteria, traveling at speed faster than that of light, has traversed the 7 continents, infected about 50 crores of people, and devoured 60 lakh lives through the infection that it had caused. All the advances in science and technology, and more particularly in the field of medicine, paled before the virulence of the virus. But such is the strength of humankind, such is the potential of human brain, such is the intellect that humanity possesses, that it soon discovered a vaccine, several variations of vaccines at a record time never before seen in the world of discovery of medicines, which effectively put paid and altered the transmission of the virus. The SIES School of Packaging was also greatly affected by the corona pandemic. Professor P.V. Narayanan, the chair professor of the SIES School of Packaging, and Professor C.S. Purushothaman, the former director of the School of Packaging, had to perforce terminate their life journey, unable to overcome the infection that the virus gave to them. We sorely miss their presence at the Star Awards function today. As we pay homage to them, we are beholden to them for all their contribution to the large society of packaging in the field of education and training. Packaging constitutes less than 1/10 of the carbon footprint of a product, and bulk of the footprint comes from the manufacturing of the material and the mode of consumption, the way it is being taken by the consumer. Despite this small footprint, packaging plays a very crucial and a critical role in the lifespan of a product over the supply chain. It motivates the consumer to purchase the product, and in large number of cases determines the mode of consumption of the product itself. The global packaging industry had a setback during the corona period, but it has bounced back quickly, and today it's expected to grow at 4% CAGR over the next 4 years till 2026. It reached the historic milestone of $1 trillion sales in the last quarter of 2021. The woes of Indian packaging industry have not been any different than that of the global packaging industry during the pandemic period. But what is gratifying is that the Indian packaging industry has bounced back far more than the world packaging industry, and today is expected to grow at a compounded growth rate of 26.7% CAGR over the next 4 years ending 2026. At constant prices, it is expected to touch $205 billion by 2026. This accelerated growth of the Indian packaging industry is largely due to the growth of the economy, the expansion of the market itself through deeper penetration of the visual media, the television and the internet. It is also accentuated by the growth of the drugs and pharmaceutical industry, the fast-moving consumer goods industry and the expanding retail network in this country. 40% of the paper produced in this country is consumed by the packaging industry. There is need to preserve papyrus and bamboo in this environment. We have to identify alternatives to packaging of the materials of papyrus being used extensively in Indian packaging industry. The Union government had recently announced that the exports of the country had for the first time crossed $400 billion, the target set for the country, and had reached $418 billion by fiscal end 2022. Even though it conveys the message loud and clear that there is a growing acceptance to Indian products and services globally, there is an underlying message which has escaped the visual media as well that of the government. It is that the targets are sacrosanct for the government. They are part of the corporate governance of the institution of the government. They are not any longer for sloganeering. And every arm of the government will leave no stone unturned to ensure that the targets are achieved in due time or even ahead of time. The Indian packaging industry, the Indian exports are expected to touch $1 trillion by 2029-2030. The gross domestic product of this country is expected to touch $5 trillion by 2026 against the original NSAID program of completion by 2025, and this delay is due to the pandemic which had retarded the GDP growth over the last 2 years. At constant prices at 8% growth per annum, it is expected to touch $10 trillion by 2035, by which time India will emerge as the third largest economy in the world, far ahead of all other developing nations in the world, except USA and China. India is the third largest ecosystem for startups in the world. And the government of the day and the people, the young Indians, are committed to find the top slot for India soon. We are seamlessly moving from an era of unicorns to decacorns, and it will not be ere long before you will find hectacorns, $100 billion capitalized startup companies originating from India. The balance of payment position, dismal as it is, as we see across the countries around this country, is a very healthy $625 billion at end fiscal 2022 as far as India is concerned. This is despite the fact that there has been a substantial depletion in the last quarter of 2022 March and even in the first week of April 2022. This is far more than adequate to meet the international commitments of the country and also to catalyze and spur growth of the domestic sector in this country. The extreme poverty, as the IMF has recently announced, India is virtually eliminated and is on the fast road to eliminate people below the poverty line and marginally the APLs which are bordering on the BPL levels. At long last, 75 years after independence, India's economic growth story, the success of it, has got a human face. It is touching and embracing all sections of the Indian society. Friends, I don't know how many of you will remember Bharat Uday, India Shining campaign, which was initiated exactly 18 years ago in 2004 by one of the most successful governments in the post-independence era. It failed to strike a chord with the people of this country, and it crash landed because it had a distorted story of only urban growth and completely ignored rural distress and agrarian crisis that had befallen beyond the urban areas of the country. But the government of the day, despite all the numbers that I have given to you, the shining cases of what India is today, has not been making claims that India is shining. But heart of heart, every Indian believes and he has a conviction that the first streaks of shine have already appeared on her face, and it would not be ere long before she glows and illuminates the world. India is a very young country. More than 52% of the population is below the age of 24. It's an aspiring society, it's an ambitious society. Every party, the electoral system in this country, post-independence, without exceptions, have committed in their manifestos year after year, elections after elections, that they shall work to make India one of the dominant economic powerhouses of the world. But the youth of this country will not rest just on the laurels of the economic strength of this country. In the 18th century, both India and China accounted for 51% of the world's GDP. And India, from times immemorial till that period, was referred to as the Vishwaguru, as the teacher of the world, the teacher of the universe. It is this pristine glory of this nation that is to be rediscovered, and that's what the youth of this country are looking for. An economic growth in the ordinary sense of the term will require only trade and technology as part of the external relations of the country with the world. But the new mantra that will help India to go far beyond that is not only trade and technology, but also tradition. The civilization which is 5,000 years young and 75 years of experience as a democracy, the largest democracy in the world, has so much to offer to the world, be it its philosophy, its culture, its religion, its art, its fine arts, its practices, its festivals, or even its culinary. They have to go beyond the borders of this country and touch the lives of people who are beyond this country, the non-Indians who are also part of this globe. And that is a process that the youth of this country want. Globalization has certainly benefited this country in a very big way, in that we have harnessed worldwide technologies in our manufacturing and our services, made them competitive and expanded not only the domestic market but also the global market, which is seen from the figures of the exports that we have. But the need of the hour is not just globalization, it is Indianization of the globe. The call of the day is Indianization of the globe, and then the youth of this country will strongly believe that the India of their dreams, the India of their vision, the India in which they have been born, where they have not seen either the freedom struggle or the destruction of this country by the political system over the last 75 years, would have realized their dreams if India can Indianize the globe. And I am sure this generation of ours and the generation that is immediately following, along with the governments of the day, because they are an extension of we ourselves, because we elect them, address this issue of Indianization of the globe. Shri Piyush Goyal, the Honorable Union Minister for Commerce, Industry, Textiles, Consumer Affairs, Public Distribution, Leader of the House in Rajya Sabha, was to be present with us this evening. In fact, he was conscious of the fact that he may not be able to leave Australia on the 9th of April. Therefore, we are perforce required to postpone the program originally scheduled yesterday. He said it will be convenient for him to come today and complete the task of presiding over the function and handing over the awards. But this is the occupational hazard of people in public service. He landed here yesterday late night, spent the most part of today with the Prime Minister, and has lined up meetings early morning tomorrow it would be too tiresome for the minister to come here and rush himself back. Therefore, he sought our indulgence, not to be physically present, but he said that I shall be digitally present with all of you. Soon I shall catch up with you and come and see your school of packaging and do much more to the progress of this institution. I am sure that long address that he has taken, it was even before he took the lunch this afternoon, because I told him, you first complete the video address. You could see from what he has said that his heart and mind is with all of us and the awardees this evening. I am sure we will have occasion sometime in future that most of these awards can be received at his hands. Who else than the Union Minister of Commerce, from whose blessed hands an award he would like to receive in the field of packaging. We congratulate all the award winners. This is only a forerunner. This is the beginning. This is the harbinger of many more good things to happen to you. To those who could not make the grade, this is not the end of the world. You have to harness the potential residing deep inside all of you. Work a little more harder, showcase all the talent that you have, and one day the stage shall be yours. The glory and the awards will all be yours. As I come to the end of my address this evening, may all the positive, good forces of the earth converge onto all of us. May we all incorporate into our lives a little of the selfless spirit that inaugurated the founding fathers of this nation. In this voyage through time of this journey through life, in this pilgrimage of perfection, and make our lives sublime. Thank you and God bless.